In the quiet town of Saugus, Massachusetts, Susan Taraskiewicz, affectionately known as Sue, lived a life fueled by ambition and dedication. At just 27 years old, she was a beacon of strength, working the graveyard shift as a ramp supervisor for Northwest Airlines at Logan Airport. But on a fateful September night in 1992, tragedy struck, plunging her promising life into darkness. Living in Saugus with her parents and working the graveyard shift meant their schedules didn't always align, sometimes leaving them to go days without seeing each other. Yet, one night, their peaceful home was shattered by a chilling call. Sue's foreman inquired about her whereabouts, revealing that she had vanished after leaving her previous night's shift to buy sandwiches for her crew. Co-workers, unaware of the sinister truth, had punched her time card back in and out, believing they were covering for her. Sue's mother, Marlene, grappling with the gnawing fear in her chest, took decisive action and went to file a missing persons report that thrust their family into a nightmare they never imagined. But fate had a cruel twist in store. Just as Marlene stood trembling in the sterile confines of the police station, a phone call shattered their hopes. Unveiling a gruesome truth, Sue's lifeless body was discovered in the trunk of her own car, on the fringes of Logan Airport. The investigation that ensued unraveled a tapestry of terror that gripped Sue's final moments. Her car, a silent witness to the horrors inflicted upon her, stood sentinel outside an auto body shop on Route 1A in Revere, Massachusetts. On September 14, 1992, an employee heading to work stumbled upon a Toyota Tercel oozing a dark liquid from the back. It was blood and was a chilling testament to the brutality Sue endured. Flagging down an off-duty officer, the trunk was opened, revealing the grisly discovery of Sue's lifeless body. She was fully clothed, with no signs of sexual assault. But whoever had murdered her took their time, and police revealed her death likely took hours. She had been stabbed multiple times in the back and had blunt force trauma to her skull, evidenced by multiple fractures. Identification was made quickly, as most of her personal items, including her purse, were still in the car. While no blood was present inside the car, the outside metal frame was stained with the crimson evidence of her demise. The lack of blood on the surrounding ground indicated she was killed elsewhere, and her car likely moved to its current spot. Sue sometimes parked near the auto body when she frequented the restaurant next door, but this time the car wasn't in her usual spot. Sue had arrived for her last shift on Saturday around 11 p.m. A few hours later, she offered to pick up sandwiches for her crew and took money and orders. What happened after that remains elusive and a mystery that needs solving. Sue had been working at Northwest Airlines at Logan Airport for 5 years. She was ambitious and hardworking, but working at Northwest was not easy. The investigation by both police and her parents unveiled a chilling reality. Sue had been the target of relentless harassment at work, a toxic environment fueled by misogyny and intimidation. Despite filing complaints, Sue's pleas for help fell on deaf ears, leaving her vulnerable to the cruelty of her colleagues. Sue had been passed over for a promotion and filed a complaint with the company. The validity of her claims led to her shortly thereafter being awarded a promotion to supervisor. A diary, discovered a year after her death, painted a more vivid picture of her torment. She endured obscene name-calling, graffiti in the men's restroom and airplane cargo holds, including a coffin with her name on it, threatening phone calls both at work and home, and personal items being smashed. Sue informed management multiple times, but little was done. A boyfriend and co-worker tried to intervene and was threatened with harm. Police collaborated the contents of the diary with several co-workers, and they added even more chilling details, including an instance of Sue getting shoved to the ground. In March 1994, Sue's parents filed a complaint against Northwest Airlines with the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination. Although the airline denied that Sue had made any official complaints in the last 6 months prior to her death, They did disclose that Sue had made a complaint in 1989 about sexually demeaning remarks from two of her co-workers. Those two co-workers were Joseph Nuzzo and Robert Brooks. In response, the airline fired them. But appeals filed with their union resulted in them getting their jobs back. While the complaint took several years to settle, the commission eventually found Northwest was in the wrong and was subject to multiple fines and penalties. They set up a reward fund in Sue's case. That reward fund was eventually raised to $250,000 as part of a larger penalty, and although Northwest was absorbed by Delta in the subsequent years, this reward still stands today. A focal point of the investigation became Sue's workplace, a hub of criminal activity. An elaborate credit card ring operated in the shadows of Logan Airport, casting a sinister cloud over Sue's murder. While Sue had no involvement, investigators believed it played a role, intertwining her fate with the web of deceit and corruption. The operation was simple but elaborate. Baggage handlers could determine which packages held credit cards and began stealing them. Pretty soon, organized crime became involved. The credit cards would get used in the casinos, and the thieves were making upwards of between $60,000 to $70,000 per weekend. By August 1992, the gig was up, with the federal government handing out grand jury subpoenas, and many were handed resignations or about to. The credit card scheme resulted in 37 federal and 19 state convictions of employees from Northwest, two of which were none other than Joseph Nuzzo and Robert Brooks, two of the worst aggressors in the harassment against Sue. Police believed this overlap may not be a coincidence. In 1996, a federal grand jury was convened to review Sue's case. While no details have ever been released by authorities as to what was revealed during the grand jury, the Boston Globe reported that Robert Brooks was called to testify twice. It was revealed that Robert Brooks, who had been transferred by Northwest in 1992 and no longer working at Logan, had a 22-minute conversation with Joseph Nuzzo on the afternoon Sue was murdered. While Robert had told the grand jury that he only spoke with Nuzzo once, police discovered he spoke with him 3 times. This resulted in Robert being charged with perjury and obstruction of justice. Additional details also came out during Robert's trial. In 1989, Joseph Nuzzo had to take a leave of absence from work after saying horrible things to Sue. He retaliated by slashing her tires, keying her car, making anonymous phone calls, staking out her house, and telling people he would exact revenge. It was also revealed that Joseph expressed suspicions that Sue was the one who had blown the whistle on the credit card scheme. Investigators also interviewed several people who also believed Sue was the informant. While police have stated they believe she wasn't informing, the implications of rumors circulating that she was could have played a role in her murder. In 1998, Robert pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice and was sentenced to 18 months in jail. As part of his plea deal, he wasn't required to answer any additional questions about Sue's case. Joseph continues to deny involvement. Other suspects were looked at, including an ex-boyfriend named Alan, who was later cleared by law enforcement. Another avenue of inquiry investigators pursued was the mysterious calls Sue may have received. On the night of her murder, before leaving for work, a friend from church recounted their phone call when she switched over the call waiting to another caller. She was only on the call for a minute or two before returning to the church friend. But he recalled she was agitated after that conversation. Another mysterious call reported to police was received in the break room while she was at work. The case remained a top priority for police, but in the 2000s, it was reinvigorated by Lieutenant Murphy, and in 2002, new information emerged. Police revealed that Sue's unique necklace was missing from the crime scene. The necklace, a cherished possession, held a special place in Sue's heart, a poignant reminder of her vibrant spirit. It was a 16-inch gold chain with several charms on it, including a crucifix and a Snoopy. The clasp had been located in the trunk of her car. Her mother, Marlene, revealed that Sue was obsessed with Snoopy, and even held a large collection of about 2,000 Snoopy knickknacks. Sue even had the opportunity to meet Charles Schultz. So when it came time to lay her to rest, her mother contacted Charles Schultz and asked if he could draw a Snoopy for her plaque in the cemetery. The cartoonist expeditiously drew a Snoopy holding a flower, which now adorns her grave. Police continue to investigate Sue's murder and recently put out a Facebook post pleading with those who could have answers to step up. They've also included Sue in a deck of playing cards for unsolved murders. Sue is the 8 of spades. And although Lieutenant Murphy is retired now, he still devotes his time to the quest for justice. Sue's case was recently featured on a true crime podcast called The Deck. Marlene, an absolute force in her daughter's case and fearless in her own right, was interviewed and made a plea. If you know anything about Sue's murder, no matter how trivial it may seem, please pick up the phone. You can even do it anonymously. Today, Sue's memory lingers, a haunting reminder of a life cut short. Her mother's plea for closure, for truth, and for justice reverberates through time, a solemn vow to never forget. And as her story echoes through the ages, one plea remains. If you have any information on Susan's case, please call the Massachusetts State Police